So this video is about how a speech pathologist treats word finding deficits and also the recommendations and just simply daily strategies you can do to help prevent decline in word finding. So as we age, it does become more challenging to find the words that we want to say. And a lot of that is normal aging. However, if you are starting to have concerns over the amount of, pauses or disfluencies you're having, and you feel like it's really impacting your ability to have a conversation with someone, please reach out to a speech language pathologist who can help differentiate what's going on and, differentially diagnose and be able to determine if what we're seeing is normal aging versus something like aphasia or the beginning stages of some sort of progressive neurological diagnosis. So we've all experienced word finding difficulties or that tip of the tongue type of sensation. I know for myself, I had a lot of social anxiety as a child. And so I feel as though, my nervous system has kind of programmed me or set me up for more word finding issues because of that. When we are anxious or when our fight or flight is going off in our brains, that actually restricts access to our abilities to find words and express ourselves. So it can worsen when you are anxious or sleep deprived or really excited or depressed. So those specific situations are not classified as aphasia. The distinction is important since people often misinterpret their word finding difficulties, thinking immediately it's some sort of like mental or progressive neurological disease, when in fact it can be normal. So some of the strategies I would recommend, and I always put these in like a home exercise program for the clientele that I see. I try to personalize it, but these are some of the general recommendations that I typically put in my home exercise programs. The first one is writing things down in sentences. So that could be, if you're struggling to find a certain word, write that word down once you are able to generate it and put it in a sentence, put it in context. And don't just type it out, actually handwrite it. So there's been lots of research that shows handwriting is so beneficial because it gives you that perceptual motor experience too that you're pairing along with the language. And there's been lots of implications for, using handwriting with young children to help them learn things better. There was even a study out of Johns Hopkins where non-Arabic speaking people learned the Arabic alphabet, and they were able to learn it much quicker when they practiced handwriting the alphabet as opposed to just watching it, in a video, or I believe the third group was typing it. So you're going to learn things a lot quicker if you're writing them down. The next recommendation would be foreign language learning, because learning a foreign language highlights and activates so much of our brain. It's not just one small section. You're tapping into working memory and attention too. And then, of course, language, that extensive language network of the brain. So learning a new language can be really important for word finding as well. The next strategy is keep talking and socializing with people. I know that can be challenging especially if you're in the middle of a conversation and you feel like your word finding is getting worse. You might kind of tend to shut down. Try to talk around the word. So we call that circumlocution. That's a strategy that could be used. And you might already be doing that already. Take a deep breath, try to calm your body. So those are some recommendations. The next one is something that I work on in therapy with people, but you can also do it just on a daily basis on your own, like in your car or with a loved one or a friend. And that would be summarizing. So, verbally summarizing something out loud. There's a specific therapy intervention I use. It's where I have the client read a couple of sentences from, a news article or something they find interesting. They read it to themselves and then they read it out loud, trying to remember all of the specific vocabulary. And then they summarize it out loud with the intent of using minimal to no filler words or vague generic language. And then we do that in small chunks throughout the entire article. And then once you get to the end, you try to summarize the whole thing. So you could take that and you could try to summarize a podcast, something that was presented auditorily or something that was presented visually that you read. And then writing words down in a journal, that kind of goes back to the first one of writing things down in sentences, but just keeping a journal of words that you do tend to forget. I think you're probably going to get better carryover of improving word finding with the words you wrote down, as opposed to just untrained random words. The next recommendation would be participating in synonyms and synonym types of games or word games. So Scrabble, categories, things like that. Something where you're having to be engaged with the game. You're not just reading or you're not just looking at words, you're actively problem solving with the words. And then my last one, of course, is getting good sleep. That can be so important. And I know that's so hard for some people that, might have insomnia or sleep apnea, but just trying to find the right physicians that can help you with that, sleep doctors, just getting a CPAP if you need it. And then, of course, nutrition as well. Nutrition is out of my scope of practice, but maintaining good exercise and nutrition is always going to be something that I recommend just holistically for the body. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. If you think it's important and more people should be able to see it and access it, go ahead and like and subscribe. Thank you so much.